Welcome to Golf Industry Guru and the Gig Podcast, where we interview the best and brightest golf and hospitality leaders on the planet. On today's episode, you will learn some proven real-world solutions that'll help you and your team solve some of your biggest golf business challenges. So stick around for some tips, tools, and training to get you, your people, and your business powered on. Here's your host, James Kronk.
How do you describe how the pandemic has impacted the private club business, the golf business, the membership business?
There is a great deal of irrational exuberance going on right now, James. And you're right. No, actually, my company has been impacted. I'll be very honest. Oh, no question about it.
Because everyone thinks they know it all now.
No, they don't. A friend of mine, John Finero, who's the publisher of Boardroom Magazine, told me a comment 25, 30 years ago. We were talking about consulting, and he said, Steve, no one's going to call you unless they have pain. And you know what? The phone calls I'm getting right now, James, are the pain of too many members. Oh, we've got too many members. Right. How do you do waiting lists? How do you raise initiation fees?
Right.
And I'm saying to clubs, do you understand something? You didn't do anything to get this success.
Right.
If you were broken before the pandemic, you'll be broken after the pandemic. But listen, on March 15th, I flew home from Saginaw, Michigan, and I fortunately had 52 clients on March 15th, typically worth 60. James, I want all of your listeners to think about this. Can you imagine in Canada or United States if the pandemic had hit on October 1st, 2019 instead of March 1st, 2020? It would have been, in my judgment, Armageddon. Every club, because when it hit on March 1st, spring was still around the corner. There was still warmth getting ready to start. So you were sitting at home. You had just heard about the Masters was canceled. Darn. You'd heard about the NCAA were canceled. Darn. But there wasn't a foot of snow on the ground with winter right around the corner. So if COVID had hit on October 1st, I think the private club industry might have gone under.
And so, Steve, do you believe then that any club, let me rephrase that, every club needs to have a welcoming environment for the entire family?
Yes.
Or yes, no matter whether you're a 7,700 yard par 72 slope index nightmare,
yes,
that you've got to be able to embrace the inclusive family, right?
Yes.
What's a trait that you feel is consistent with those managers that run that get to the point where they have a happy, successful, thriving club?
Two things. Number one, it's okay to ask for help. And number two, that the industry is more comprehensive and complex than most members and board members want to give it credit. James, when the private club industry originated, every private club was the best of everything in their town. It had the best food. It had the best golf course. It had the only pool. It had they were the gold standard of the community. Everybody aspired for everything the club had because it was the most sophisticated there was. Think of the industry right now. The world now has got all of these offshoots where people get really good at really small, take fitness. Is any club fitness program ever going to be able to be good as LA Fitness? No. No. So the fitness center at a private club is never as good as the best fitness center in the United States or in Canada. But you still need to have a fitness center.
You can't get better if you don't have a critical eye. So you can't, if you walk to your club thinking that, everything's fantastic and perfect and the members are completely satisfied and your staff are completely satisfied, and so there's nothing else to do, you might as well go home and get on the couch. Well, obviously, you're going to get on the couch for a long time at some point, because you have to constantly be looking at how do we make things better. And I think that asking for help is just one of those ways to say, how can we be better, and how can I make the club better? How can I make my members happier?
And I stole this line from exactly what you were just saying, James. You don't have to be sick to get better. You don't have to wait until you're sick and then worry about how to get better. The best clubs are, in fact, doing wonderfully, and this is where they can take COVID and have it be their friend. And instead of trying to shun people because the golf course is a little bit crowded right now, but right now courses are not crowded. Once July 4th hit, people are on vacations. These golf courses are not as crowded because there's other things to go do. Now is the time to take a deep breath and try to figure out how to continue to get better experiences, for your members, taking care of. Let me give you a statistic. It's more illustrative. We think that 40% of all private club members, James, are 80% users of their club. We have many clients like yourself who nod and say, that makes sense. So if you think about it, you know who most clubs try to take care of? The 40%ers. They're never quitting. You can't get rid of them if you tried.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you reverse that means that 60% of a private club membership are 20% users of the club. They own a boat, they travel, they have other things outside, they've got grandchildren, so those are the people who are quitting clubs. So those are the people that clubs need to focus more attention on, of what are they looking for? What needs do they have? What type of menu item would they like to see? But very few clubs are focusing on that group. They're focusing on the people that are easier to talk to, the people who are out at the club every single day.
Thanks for listening to the Gig Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and mostly that you learned a few things that will help you improve your business. Join us next time as we continue to bring you the best and brightest golf and hospitality leaders on the planet. Thanks for listening.